Namaskar. Today's concept of the day is completely dedicated for identity theorem. So, in this video, you will see what is identity theorem, okay, and how can you apply identity theorem to solve CSIR net question. Here you can see a question is here in which f from C to C, an entire function is given, and g from C to C is defined in terms of f. Alright, so by using the statement of identity theorem, how can you choose the correct option? Okay, so first of all, let me discuss what is identity theorem, and thereafter we'll discuss. Okay, so what is identity theorem? I would like to say that this question is based on identity theorem version 1. Okay, there are two versions of identity theorem, but I am writing version 1 and will apply it 4 times for all the 4 options. So all your concept will be clear for this version of identity theorem. In the next video, we will come up with second version and a CSIR net question based on it. Okay, you should check the playlist of this channel for more help. Okay, so what is identity theorem? So for this, if you have a function f from D to C, okay, and your D is what? Connected. If your D is given as a connected set, it should be connected, f from D to C. And if you are taking a set A, which is nothing but the set of all zeros of f. A is what? Set of zeros of f. And if this set A has a limit point in D, if A has a limit point in D, what does it means? That is A dash, which is the derived set of A intersection D, is not equals to phi. Okay, if A has a limit point in D, then what shall happen? Do you know? Yes, then your f will be identically equals to 0. What do you mean by identically equals to 0? It means your f of z will be equals to 0 for all z belongs to D. Okay, yes, this is nothing but your identity theorem. Okay, and we'll apply it beautifully on this CSIR net question. We'll apply this statement of identity theorem and then everything will be clearer. Okay, so yes, is the things clear? F from D to C, D is connected. A is what? Set of all zeros of f. And if the limit point of these zeros intersect with our domain, then our f is going to become identically equals to 0. Now we are going to apply this statement on our question. Okay, so first of all, you can easily see that f from C to C were given as an entire function. G from C to C is defined in terms of f. G of z is equals to f of z minus f of z plus 1. Okay, so which of the following statements are true? More than one option may be correct. So let's check for the option A. Okay, for option A, how can we say f of 1 by n is equals to 0? It is given f of 1 by n is equals to 0 for all n belongs to z plus, for all positive integers. So what would you like to say? If you will write the A, I mean to say the zeros of f, then what do you mean? It means it is nothing but 1 by n such that n belongs to z plus, isn't it? Because all 1 by n is taking your f to zeros. So if you will collect all your 1 by n, then it will be nothing but the zeros of A. And when you will try to see its limit point, then it is going to 0, isn't it? So you can see what in the derived set of A, certainly this 0 is there, and this 0 is also in the domain of F. Okay, so A dash intersection C is not equals to phi, and this will let you to say, this will enable you to say that your F is identically equals to 0. It means your F of Z is equals to 0 for all Z belongs to D. And what it concludes? It concludes that your being F is equals to 0. Okay, F is equals to 0 means what? Certainly it's constant. Okay, because for any point from the domain, its F image is 0, so it's constant. So A is right. Okay, so your A is right. Now let's go for the option B. Okay, so yes, one thing has already concluded that A is right. Now we are looking for option B. What is your option B? Let's check. Our focus is on option B. F of n is equals to 0 for all positive integer n, then F is a constant function. But this is not true. Do you know why? Because, for example, if we will take F of Z is equals to sine pi Z. Okay, then you can see your F of n will become what? Sine n pi. And sine n pi is what? 0. So hence F of n is going to become 0. But is your F of Z constant? The answer is no. F of Z is equals to sine pi Z. Okay, so hence you can see we have a counter example that F of n is going to become 0, but F is not constant. Okay, so this is one way. In other way, you can see that you have what? Here n. Alright, so all the zeros of F are what? N. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and so on. And if you will try to find its limit point, okay, and then we'll try to intersect with C, then you will see that identity theorem is not applicable. Okay, the statement of identity theorem is also not necessarily applicable. That's why this is wrong. And a counter example is already over here. So from here we have concluded A is right but B is wrong. Okay, up till now what the things are? A is right but B is wrong. Now let's come for the option number C. Okay, in option number C, what the things are given? In this option it is given F of 1 by n is equals to F of 1 by n plus 1 for all positive integers n, then G is a constant function. Okay, so first of all, what the things are given? F of 1 by n is equals to F of what? 1 by n plus 1. Alright, and it was given in the question, what is your G of Z? Your G of Z is what? Yes, you are right. F of Z minus F of Z plus 1. This is your what? G of Z. So what would you like to say about the zeros of G? What would you like to say about the zeros of G? Z of G means what? Zeros of G. You people know it will become 1 by n, where n belongs to Z plus. Why? Because you people know that if you will take G of 1 by n, then it will become F of 1 by n and minus F of 1 by n plus 1. And in this case, these two are equal. So finally, this minus this will become 0. So this 1 by n is making all your G 0. So certainly this is the set of what? This is the set of what? Zeros of G. Okay, so this is the set of zeros of G. And you can also see one beautiful thing, that this is going to 0. Its limit point will be 0. So in the derived set of A, you can see a 0 right here, and which is going to intersect with C, isn't it? Which is going to intersect with C. This is not equals to phi. So from here, it is quite clear from our identity theorem that G is certainly identically equals to 0. It means what? G of Z is equals to 0 for all Z belongs to D. And being a 0 function, you can say what? It is constant for sure. So you will not hesitate to say that C is the right answer. Now the last option is over here, and we have to check it, and then we'll conclude this 4.75 type question. So here is what? F of n is equals to f of n plus 1. All right, for all positive. Then you have to speak about G. They have asked you about G. So we can see what? If you have f of n is equals to f of n plus 1, okay, and G of Z is equals to f of Z minus f of Z plus 1. Okay, this is the thing. So if we will take f of Z is equals to sine pi Z, then certainly what would you like to say? F of Z plus 1, it will become sine pi into Z plus 1, isn't it? Yes. And you can easily see what? G of Z is equals to sine pi Z, I mean to say f of Z minus sine pi into Z plus 1, right? Yes, this is the thing. So finally you can see what? This is sine pi Z and minus sine pi plus pi Z. All right, so it will become what? 2 sine pi Z. Do you know the reason? Because sine pi plus theta is what? Minus sine theta. So minus minus plus. So your G of Z is what? 2 sine pi Z. All right. So you can see that your G is what? Not a constant function. Your G of Z is nothing but this, isn't it? So you can see f of n is equals to what? F of n plus 1 for all possible integers n, then G is a constant function. Then I would like to say that no, it's not true. Because if you will take f of Z is equals to f of Z plus 1, okay, all right. However, we have seen a G over here. Your G is what? 2 sine pi Z, which is not a constant function. All right. Is this clear? Yes. Okay. So that's the reason D is not correct. So your final answer will be what? Yes, you people are right. A and C. If you have any doubt or confusion, then please say the things into the comment section. So its final answer is what? A and C were right, B and D were wrong. So its final answer is what? A and C. Okay. So certainly I used to take classes in English and Hindi medium. Question of day comes in English medium, Man Ki Baat comes in Hindi medium. Okay, I will try to put everything on this channel in both the medium, both the languages. Okay, you can put your suggestions in the comment section. Thank you.